Bernie Sanders, there are few. I don't think there was a bigger political disappointment in my life. He said, "I look forward to seeing Congress provide in the very near future financial support for Ukraine, which is valiantly struggling against Russian aggression." So Bernie's just a war pig liar. And so I tweeted this out. I said, he's now just a willing face of evil. I honestly can't do the mental gymnastics it requires to not be sick to my stomach at the sight or mention of him. Can you imagine working for him now as he does this? He slanders peace activists for F's sake. Well, he did. It's worse. I'm going to show you a video in a second. He not only sides with actual Hitler Nazis right now, he's funding them. He calls Trump corrupt while he's funding Hitler Nazis and the slaughter of hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians. I honestly can't wrap my head around the evil he's willingly and happily perpetrating on the world, not even a little. Imagine if he told the truth about Ukraine. It would change everything. I honestly just can't anymore. I really want to find a way to start an actual revolution or be as big a part of one as I can. And why do I bring this up? Because he had peace activists arrested today outside his office for holding up a sign with his own words on it. Anya tweeted out, outraged to see Bernie Sanders order the arrest of my friend Leo Flores for simply holding up a sign quoting Bernie's own call for peace negotiations. So watch this.
Thank you, Leo. Why are you getting arrested?
For holding up a sign, a quote from Bernie Sanders calling for negotiation. Bernie Sanders had me arrested for holding up his own quote.
And what was that quote? So here's the quote. Code Pink, Medea Benjamin's going to read it out.
We must work hard to achieve a realistic and mutually agreeable resolution, one that is acceptable to Ukraine, Russia, the United States, and our European allies. So let's sit down, let's negotiate, and let's come up with a diplomatic solution.
So that was Bernie Sanders' own quote that guy was holding up, and Bernie Sanders had him arrested for it. That's how bad Bernie Sanders has gotten.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus, he's having war press. So I wonder if Cornel West would go there, protest the Ukraine war, if Bernie would have him arrested. I would like to see it. Hey, Cornel, let's just do that.
Yeah.
He should take that sign, go see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, he just, there was an event yesterday with Cornel West over there, and he gave a speech, but I would have liked to see him today show up, the same thing, and see what would happen. If he says, this is my brother Bernie Sanders, who I just disagree with on certain things, whatnot, I would like to see that, because Cornel West is for ending the Ukraine war. So
right, he's right about. He also wants to destroy or dismantle NATO. Here, she has a little more to say.
That is the good Bernie. Yeah. That's the Bernie we want. Not the other Bernie who is okaying billions and billions of dollars in weapons and says you can't talk to Putin. And we have one.
So that's what Bernie said. Oh, you can't talk to Putin. What childish garbage that he says shit like that. He knows the United States and NATO's the aggressor in Ukraine. He knows this. He used to, for fuck's sake, he went on a honeymoon to Russia. His whole thing used to be...
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame. And right now, when you hear a lot of, I mean, this is the prime time for somebody to step up. When you hear a lot of these politicians say, well, it's only 3.5 or 4% of our defense budget we're spending over there, and we haven't lost, Jimmy, we haven't lost one American life. Since when is a Ukrainian life not as precious as an American life? 500,000, that's okay for a proxy war, fueled by the United States? It's disgusting.
It couldn't be more disgusting. So what does Code Pink say? So when Bernie says you can't talk to Putin, what does Code Pink say here?
They can't talk to Putin. And we have one word answer to Bernie when he says you can't talk to Putin, because he said that to us. We say, try. Right? Try. We want to see what the result of Biden talking to Putin is, right? We want to hear that. We want to know that they've had not one conversation, lots of conversations. We want Bernie to call for a ceasefire and for peace talks.
Okay, well, keep dreaming. I appreciate them doing that. I appreciate that guy getting arrested. I appreciate them keeping, the pressure on and for exposing people like Bernie. But Bernie, again, he's a real politician. He's slimy and doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
He doesn't really have that shame button.
Yeah.
That normal people have. Like I have it, you have it. Bernie, he's a real politician. He doesn't have it.
Yeah.
He could lie right to your face until he'll have you arrested for telling the truth. That's how bad it's gotten.
Yeah. And I, like you, Jimmy, I do appreciate what Medea is doing. This is the good Medea right here, not the bad Medea, right? This is the good Medea. And I do appreciate what she is doing. But we know not only has it been the fact that they won't even talk to them, when there were chances of ceasefire, it was always the West saying, no, you're not going to have that ceasefire. Whether it was Naftali Bennett, I believe his name was, the old prime minister, when he said that he had Putin and Zelensky on the same page to agree to a ceasefire and stop down, but Boris Johnson said no. So the West has come in many times, whether it be the United States, Great Britain, or whoever, and said, no, you're not going to end this war. We're going to keep it going.
He's funding actual Nazis. It's a joke. I like this. It says, I once again ask you to support the oligarchy and corrupt two-party system. That's what he's all about.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me think that he was somehow always that big of a phony, because there's no way someone just changes when they're 80 years old, 88 or whatever, how old he is.
Yeah. Well, there's Kosovo, right? We were always suspect back in the days when he supported that too as well.
So it was, I've heard Michael Parenti talk about how I think that's when Bernie stopped talking to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back then.
Uh-huh. And it's sad. Anyway, there he is. There's Bernie getting a peace activist. Before he said, he wagged his finger at him and said, "Who's paying you?" That's what he said. Who's paying you?
Yeah.
He's voting for billions of dollars in a money laundering operation for the military-industrial complex, Wall Street, and fossil fuel companies. That's what the Ukraine war is. It's a money funneling operation.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's got...
well, Jimmy...
Don't have heroes.
If you got into a time machine and went back to 2016 and you said to yourself, would it be some Republicans on the floor pushing back to stop a war, or would it be Democrats? Would it be these people like the squad that we thought were going to go in there to stop exactly this? No, they're funding it.
That's right.
They're behind it. It's crazy. Everything's turned upside down.
And he's not a real Democrat. Bernie's a real Democrat, believe me. Remember when they used to say that about him?
Yeah.
He's not a real Democrat. He's a real Democrat.
He is.
Hey, come see us on tour. We're going to be in Tampa, Boca Raton, Orlando, Dallas, Houston, San Diego, Bloomington, Illinois, Indianapolis, and Levittown, New York. Wow, that's a lot of dates. See you there.